Hello and welcome to another edition, something I call Sensible Conversations, right here on Fifi Mountain TV on YouTube. Obviously, we're talking education today. We are learning a lot from a lot of things that are happening around us. If you haven't joined us before, just do so by going to Fifi Mountain TV on YouTube, look for the subscription button, press on it, and then, of course, the notification button as well, so that any video we put out there, you get the chance to watch it. Today, we are doing purely education. Now, I'm talking about education in a relationship because many a time people cohabitate, people do all sorts of things in relationships and don't understand the legal implications of it. So, we're talking the law and relationships, divorces, prenuptial relationships, how to share properties, and all of that are all part of our discussion today so that we don't make the mistakes of our forefathers. In the studio with me today is one of the very, very interesting lawyers that you always love to listen to. He has a football side, don't worry about that one, but he's a legal brain, and we call him Lawyer Labi. Lawyer Labi is here in the studio, but many of you, I'm sure, know him as Barbados. He's always everywhere. Lawyer,
Yes.
Akwaba,
Yeah,
Hapum.
Boko.
Lawyer, don't pretend to be cool because I know you are not cool like that. That's why I say cool, Bisado. And
Asafu Penyin Intia.
good to have you here. Yeah.
Thank you.
Look, I mean, there's so many reasons why we're having these conversations. I mean, people go into relationships, people go into all kinds of things and don't know the legal implications of some of them and what the effects could actually be. If you go into a relationship, first of all, what is a relationship defined by law?
Thank you very much. If you ask me what's a relationship defined by law, then that one will be a very big topic. But then let's restrict ourselves to
marriage?
Marriage.
Okay.
You know, when we start from marriage,
that we can trickle down to others.
Yes, we will trickle down to others. And it will help us to understand the Ghana law of this relationship that can work out to be a marriage. Some of them will not work out to be a marriage. And we ask ourselves, then what happens?
Okay, so in a Ghana setting, when it has to do with marriage, what does the law say?
Yeah, the law in Ghana identifies two types of marriages. The first one is the customary marriage that most people in the local parlance will say, engagement and all those things. But then, in reality, our customary marriage is recognized in our laws. So it's a very good marriage. When you contract a customary marriage, it is perfect. You can also do so many things under the Matrimonial Causes Act. We have a law on marriages that we call Matrimonial Causes Act. And even the customary marriage, you can go under the Matrimonial Causes Act.
Okay.
So people should not have that funny, I call it street understanding of our engagement or our customary marriage as if you go and contract a customary marriage, it is not good. Now, let me talk about the other marriage we also have in our laws. That's the ordinance that in the olden days we call it CAP 127. Yes.
Ordinance is really wedding.
Wedding, that people call wedding or they call sign. But then the customary marriage too, says, yeah, we sign.
Okay.
But that is registration of customary marriages.
Okay.
And it's not a conversion from customary marriage to ordinance marriage.
Okay.
We have that one. Then we have the consign that type, which is also done by the Registrar General, and it's ordinance marriage. Now, the only difference between the two is that one, you can marry as a number, the male or the husband can marry additional wives.
Customary marriage.
That's a customary marriage.
Potentially polygamous.
That's the word I was coming to. So it's potentially polygamous.
Okay.
Then we come to the ordinance. The ordinance, one man, one machete.
Okay.
You can't go about marrying more. No, you are stopped. So that's why most of the women, especially educated women, they prefer the ordinance marriage because they believe that it will be her alone.
Okay.
Fine. So this is the main difference.
Okay.
But now coming to divorce.
Let me come to step 2 before we go to divorce. In the customary marriage, Bema no chance between marry more than one.
Oh yes.
Or any chance between marry more than one.
Oh no. I don't know. Nobody have tried it. You see, the law at times must be tested so that we will know whether it can stand the test of time. But we don't. This is a very good question.
Because according to Bema no kwani between marry more than
And
one.
if you look at the Matrimonial Cause Act, when it comes to financial provisions in the time of divorce, they never stated man or woman there. They rather stated spouse.
Yeah.
So the one who is financially stronger should pay
Yeah.
and see the exit of the other. So this is your question. Why don't you contract a lawyer, get a woman to try and marry a second husband, and let's see what
the law says.
Yes, what the law says.
And you try and try and share.
Maybe because when we test the law, at times it helps. Because the law is a living being.
Yeah.
As it is lying down and nobody's testing it, it will be there. But if you try to test the law at the law courts, probably it may come out that after all, the women were just sleeping.
Yeah, they were just being shortchanged.
Yeah, shortchanged.
Now let's move to divorce.
Yes.
What does the law say about divorce?
Yes. For divorce, anyone in a relationship can go to the courts for dissolution of the marriage. Even if it is contracted under customary law.
Okay.
You can go to court. Because when custody, you have a procedure that you use to take custody of children in the marriage. Financial provisions, sharing of the property, all those ones are in the Matrimonial Causes Act. So those married under the customary law, they are not debarred from going to court to seek justice.
Okay.
Or to go and tell the court that enough is enough. I want to dissolve this. I want the court to look at my case and dissolve the marriage and now share our property amongst us. And I want to take custody of the children. Reasonable access, blah, blah, blah. Same as the ordinance. But the only difference here is that the customary marriage can also be dissolved without going to court. If you can have that understanding, that's fine.
So the son
Very good. Ebusua will do what we call, they organize what we call bedra. That's they have the two parties, they sit down, they listen to both sides. That's what they call it in tree. They say one crew. Then the two parties, that's the husband and the wife, will tell the Ebusua, joint committee, whatever, bedra, that this is what has happened. But then, mind you, there are certain grounds that you can use to, even in the customary marriage, to terminate or to dissolve the marriage. There are certain grounds.
saying,
one, lazy woman, the man can go and. Two, disrespectful woman. Three,
violent woman.
Violent woman. A woman who is dirty, somebody who can't keep the house. All these wrong things about women who cannot really keep themselves. It goes into marriage and it's a ground for
Divorce.
Dissolution
of the marriage.
Dissolution of the marriage.
On the opposite side, what about the men?
The opposite side, the woman can say the man is not taking good care, especially maintenance of the house and the children, especially.
Yeah.
If you are incapable, in bed, that one too is a ground for
sexual weakness.
Yes.
Hey.
But then most of the time, the bedrock is very deep. Okay. They look at the circumstance before they get to that end. They don't just listen at the moment the woman will say, hey, then they start. No. That's not them. Even in court, ordinance, if you want to go under that ground, then you need to prove it. You don't just go and tell the court, my man is incapable, he's not doing well in bed and sexual weakness and blah, blah, blah. Unless the doctor has written, come for medication, the man doesn't want to go. You know, most men, we are very rigid and conservative about going to hospital to check whether we are strong or not. We rather depend on this aphrodisiacs, and we have about
224,
about 300 on the market. You see, that's funny, but it's true. Now, when everybody narrates the story about why the marriage should be dissolved, now they will ask both parties if they make tangible and sensible submissions that is true, this marriage has broken down beyond.
It is a court in their traditional
manner. Yeah. That is how they do it. Because the bedrock is like publishment.
Yes.
You are publishing because people are there as witnesses to whatever will be done that day. If it will end up in divorce, fine.
Yeah.
If it did not end up in divorce, then everybody, they will tell you, go and marry.
Yeah.
And this time, they will advise both parties. You were doing it this way. That's why it was not working. Now, let's do it. Go and do it in this manner. They are very knowledgeable people. They have experts, the experienced ones in their marriage who will be part of the bedra. So the bedra is not just like going to bring your friend, young people or something, people who are towing your line alone.
Yeah.
No, it's both parties who decide. Now, when they do it and they decide that the marriage should be dissolved, then they go to what we call accounting. Like sharing of property. You, the woman, because most women at times give their small savings to the men to invest. So they will ask you, is your man owing you? If it's yes, how did it happen? Then you narrate. If he agrees, how are you going to pay her? Do you have some property that you should share? You say yes. Oh, as for this house, my father gave it to me a long time before I married the woman. So it's for me and my siblings. It's just that I'm the eldest, that's why I'm living in it. So it cannot be shared. But the new one we have built and we are renting, the woman supported me whilst I was building it. So it's virtually, as you said, it's the local
version of a court.
A court. Our domestic way of dealing with it. Now, when all these things are done in, let me call it, at times it becomes turbulent. The environment is not that friendly. But then they manage to control it and they get to the bottom of it. When they complete everything, then they will put powder on both of them. They powder their shoulder. Then it signifies that from that day, that material moment they've powdered one another, it means they are free to go their separate ways. Anybody can marry a woman or a man of his or her choice. Then to tell the whole world that they are no more husband and wife.
Yeah.
And that is the end of it, so to speak. Now the other version.
That's the ordinance version.
No, let me
finish the traditional version.
The traditional version, unlike court that maybe you be subpoenaed or you send writ and all those things to the other party and you are supposed to respond and blah, blah, blah. And if you do not do so, the laws as a way of dealing with you, they will go ahead and this particular one, at times, one party will be unwilling for the bedrock to meet for the dissolution. And somebody will ask, in such circumstance, what do you do? Like the woman, oh, am I going to lose this man? Though I've gone wrong, but I think we can manage it. So then I will not partake in the bedrock. So I won't go. And I'll tell my people to not to accept any drink. So they'll start dilly-dallying, dodging and doing
that's all worrying the back.
Yes.
So, yeah.
Because it wants to keep the marriage. Most of the time, people want to be given a second chance. Even third ones. People get a second, they mess it up. And so they'll start dilly-dallying. And in that circumstance, most of the time, you go and leave the drink with the nearest person to the busuapei or whoever came, give the hand of the person. Yeah. But people say, Tubono. No, it's not like throw it. But you leave it near the person after you have narrated the number of times you have tried to get this particular thing. And that one too is minding.
Okay.
It works.
Okay.
Yes.
So many times now and eventually
Oh, yes.
Yes,
Yes, yeah.
Okay.
Now we come to
Ordinance.
And the ordinance, you always start with what they call it, petition. You start with petition. So the one who is aggrieved and believe that it's very unreasonable to live with the other party will go to the court, if it is district court, that you can get a registrar to prepare a petition for you. If it is the high court, especially when there are a lot of property, you need to do it at the high court or the circuit court, where the ceiling of the value of the property will be accepted.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's how you choose the court.
Okay.
Yeah. So, but when you decide to go to the higher court, that's the high court, then you need to get a lawyer to prepare your petition for you to be filed before the court. Then,
why is it that most divorces are held in camera or are held in the chamber of the?
Very good. You know, whoever started that idea, I think is the best ever I've also experienced since I started legal practice. You know, in the course of the matrimonial trial, one, there are a lot of emotional issues that comes to play. And most of the time, if you have had an opportunity to look at some of the petitions, the content of the petitions, whether it is the answer, the answer to the petition as well, and the reply, all of them contain a lot of emotional things. It's like, you are doing me, I'll do you.
Yeah.
Kind of thing. You take a divorce petition and you take an answer to the petition, and if you don't take care and you are not married already, you say you will never get married to anybody. Accusations, counter accusations, and when they are even giving evidence, at times it becomes so emotional, some of them will break down, they will weep, and we need to even stop the proceedings. And the judge at times comes in, are you ready? Can we go on, or we adjourn for you to put yourself together? You see? And all these things, if we are doing it in
open court,
just imagine. And some of the questions that the lawyers also ask, especially when it comes to where one is accused of adultery, and please, it's not any good. And it's also good we don't do it in public, because it will also discourage people.
Okay.
Yes, some of the question and answers that comes up, it will discourage people from getting married.
What are some of the worst ones you have heard as a lawyer?
I'll not even mention names.
Yeah, of course not.
But then I remember, I think a year or two ago, one of the most popular people, their petition leaked to the public. You remember?
Yeah.
So I won't mention names.
Yeah.
But then the content,
Yeah.
just imagine.
Yeah.
And people will say, oh, so even these people who were moving nicely, and is that important?
When it comes to sharing of properties, what does the court look at first?
Yes. You know, the Ghana courts, if you look at the very old precedents, then they were looking at what we call contribution. So then the women, especially, you know, the customary marriage and even the ordinance, you know how our society looks at marriage. The man is always ahead and the woman supports. Okay, so I believe some of the precedents are read. You will see that it really affected the direction of the judgment.
Okay.
Okay, so most of the time they were looking at the physical contribution of the woman. The man maybe is the one who was going and coming. Yes, he was doing the day-to-day running around to raise money, to do the property, or you know, and the woman is maybe a housewife. Majority those days were housewives, and they lost out because when they get to the court and they say, "How much did you contribute to the property?" But now, yes, but now the judgments that are coming out, most of them are geared towards the contribution not being physical contribution, like probably money, but some even supervision.
Yeah.
Going to see to it that, oh, maybe the laborers came today. Oh, the person who is fetching water has gone to do the work, blah, blah, blah. So now they've even gone to the extent that giving the man comfort in the house, to have the peace of mind to make
emotional contributions.
Yes, all those ones are now being considered. Yes, and so basically people are now saying it's 50-50. The 50-50 means they share the property equally. But then most of the cases that are being quoted, Duncan and Duncan, Mensa and Mensa, and all those things, some of them were on the lines of this 50-50 share. And if the properties were acquired during the subsistence of the marriage, I think the courts are minded to go for the 50-50. Unless, probably, you can prove to the extent that they will see that for this particular property, one must have a bigger share than the other.
Children, when it comes to the children, which I always refer to as issues in the marriage, how do you share responsibility of the children?
The responsibility of the children now, looking at most of the judgments I've read so far, they saddle the man. They saddle the man with they will talk about maintenance. They will talk about, that's fiscal money, taking money to take care of the children. If they give custody to the woman, they will talk about, some of them, they will say even rent a place for them to live in if you don't have a house. Or you, the man, you may move from the house and leave it with the woman and the children.
I didn't think say a ban property sharing a 50-50, but a ban looking after children a 50-50. No, a lot of the responsibility rather comes to the man.
That's how we, like, if I had landed with what I was going through, you see how my opinion will be. You see, so they will talk about education, they say pay. Even to the extent of you be paying the lunch or those snack.
Coupons, yes,
my children are over. So those days they were not eating those things. And they will eat from the house. So all those things, okay? Now, they will still mention that it's a shared responsibility. And do you know the responsibility they will give the woman? Taking care of the children in the house. Waking up early, taking their bath, ironing their clothes, taking them to wherever they are attend school, going to pick them up, cooking for them. You provide the food, but the food cannot be eaten without any preparation.
Do the men have the opportunity to request for that side of the taking care of?
That is when.
Because I say, me person taking care of Obama side. No, Obama also taking care of Obama side. So Obama provide this car. Oh yes.
Yes, the law also provides that when the children are in the minority, minors, when they are minors, then they will not give custody to. They will not give custody to the man for any reason.
Why?
Because we believe that the man alone cannot take care of the children.
What if the man goes to marry?
Very good. Now we are coming there. So if the divorce happens and the man quickly gets married, but the first orders they will make, if they grant the custody to the woman because the children are minors, and they grant it to the woman for you to have reasonable access to pick them maybe weekends or when they vacate from school, you can also keep them in your house for a while. But the most important thing is those orders can be varied. You understand? That's the variation of orders when certain conditions change. So example is what you gave, that within maybe 2 years, you get married and you start producing from the that marriage. And you want all your children to be at one place. And maybe the woman, your ex-wife, who had custody earlier, is also ready to go and marry and is not even ready to carry those children along to the new marriage for various reasons that we know. Then you just go for variation and go and request for the custody of the children. And that one they will give. And even when they give the children to you, mind you, your ex-wife will never come and say, I'm paying school fees because I'm paying this. They will not do it.
In that stance, is the law fair to the men when divorce happens?
When you ask me my candid opinion, I will not say fair or not. But the men, we also enjoyed our supremacy so much that when divorce happened, I believe whatever responsibility the court gives us, we deserve it.
Really?
Yes. We deserve it.
What happens in the case where there's divorce? The man is not in the, let's say it doesn't work. The woman works. What happens in the case like that where the kids have to be taken care of?
For that one, the woman must take care of the kids. The woman must take care of the kids. The man should try and get, let me give you this information. In the divorce proceedings, when it comes to this financial stuff, the court at times will say you should file your financial means. Yeah. It can call for parties to file their financial means. So you file everything. At times you are even working, but because you have a surviving a parent that you take care of, you buy their medication, blah, 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 blah. All those things can be taken into consideration before the court to decide how the
responsibilities must be shared.
Right, must be shared.
Prenup. I mean, a lot of people have heard prenup. Does it exist in our laws in Ghana? You can't prenup. I just say,
I know.
I mean, for the purpose of our viewers,
yes.
Yeah, kwa warrior. Nyamedeba, media. Nyaso deba, wodia.
And Sunny has started.
And started a warrior. No,
it works.
It's a warrior. Jaye bemwa. Me the media echo. Also do the echo. But the benya together no. And the yeche. Prenup. Ghana.
Yeah, once it's a contract. It must be respected.
But do people do prenups in Ghana?
Yes. Yes. Especially when you look at your age. Like me, for example, if I want to marry, do I go and marry and I'll not do any prenup? The woman, you should let the woman know what you have and what she also has. Everybody should keep it. Now,
what is yours is yours.
Yes.
What is mine is mine.
And when there's divorce, this is how you will distribute our property. And if it is fair, and the two consenting adults agree to it, then it can work.
Is it something you think we should encourage?
I think that's the best out of the situation. But if we are encouraging that, then it means that our women should sit up in their marriage. Because most of the time, I won't say they restrict themselves to the kitchen. But then, when they make money, how do they let their spouse know that this is my contribution? You know, most of the time we do it like Bemano, Ebusuafo Abesrame, no one you will show to Tonya Mama. Is that good contribution? No.
Alimony. Let's touch on the issue of alimony. Alimony, where does it come in? Is it only when Bemano see Oja Warrior or more bani alimony? And as Banka see Oja Warrior, does it work both ways?
Yes.
It works both ways.
Yes.
Alimony, no, when the trap board,
the court decides
how much should be paid.
Yes, at times, you know, I don't want to see alimony to be, how do I put it? I have a different opinion about it. When somebody says, I'm divorcing this, like the female takes the wife takes the matter to court and is demanding for maybe 500,000 Ghana cedis. Should the court just grant it? Because the man is capable of paying. Should the court just Yes, because when they are doing divorce, especially, we have, they have a maxim that they will not bring the woman from A
all the way down.
all the way down.
So it must have some level of maintenance.
Yes.
Let's move from.
So if you are married to somebody and you take the person out for vacation, Dubai, London, twice a year, the court will see to it that when dissolution comes, at least it should go once.
Hey, sir.
So that you will not become, like they will not bring you from the top to down and weaken you. No. If you put the woman... If you put the woman in the... That's why they will take good financial support from you for her. If you are driving a 4x4, going up and down, Madam Chechire, and you want to divorce Madam, now Madam is starting for trotro. No way. You pay to the extent that...
What if the other way around? Same way?
Yes, that is what is in the provision.
But I say most of the time, the law favors the women more than the men. Yes, sir.
Because I've told you, I just mentioned that the men, we have been kings for too long. So the law will also find a way.
It tries to bring that down.
Not down, but just to give the woman something to live on.
Let me look at, before we round up our conversation, let me look at cohabitation.
Yes.
When you be like they say, when in 2-3 years, and I say baby, one wareno, na oto nchenya, or the nete, or you be a mouth. Does the law recognize that person?
Not in Ghana.
Not in Ghana.
Ghana, we have either marriage, you are married and cohabiting, or you are dissolved. You're
divorced.
We don't even have separation in Ghana marriage. That abroad cause for some time. No. We don't have separation in Ghana law. It's either divorce or you are married.
Penetration is not recognized in Ghana.
No. I think I heard that these people, that women law group, what's the name? Oh, this
Federation of
FIDA and all. They were pushing to get something like, even if you have a girlfriend for 6 months and you are no more interested in the marriage, in the relationship, then like you soldier kind of thing. But it has not been passed. And when they pass it, it's going to be a problem for most young girls. Because people will just manage, it will be like labor law. They will just manage it
6 months.
About 4 months. I will not even get closer to the 6 months, so that by any mistake, if you jump into the 6 months, what will I do? So,
interesting. So in terms of cohabitation, yes, the law doesn't recognize that.
No, you cohabitate.
Only been nanti for 3, 4, 5 years.
One
ware no. Says you are no ebu ni kwasia. Eno any law mu.
No, you know the families most of the time when you take their daughter, you know, we have something called kokoko in our customary setting.
Yeah.
When you go and do that kokoko, you know, our customary setting, you take a drink there. And when they accept the drink, the introduction that you make is when you are looking for your daughter and you can't find them. And when they agree, where is the kwasiabu? That's that they've given you the opportunity to go habitate with the woman. Even though there's no marriage. There's another one called, maybe we will continue. Then we will discuss a very old tradition, which went to court. It's called, in Tree. It's in the Brown region. I will bring the case. Then we will discuss. It's so funny. It happened in our court, a high court. That you go and you take the woman and give drink and you say you are going to test her. Put her to test whether she's a marriageable commodity. And you go and it's no more. You can give birth with the woman 2, 3, 4, and later you go and dump her with the family that
one pass it.
It went to a high court in Ghana.
Into romance scam in this money now. It doesn't exist in our laws.
No.
So it will be nantia. Okay, what about the case where when go huni padebusu and for and some uncle country now in the paco nanti 5 years, 6 years now January.
And no crown. At the end of the day, if the one I know that at times the Fantis, the Gumo area, they are very hard on it is if the woman pass away in the course of
that relationship,
they will force you to wed the woman the day they are going to bury the woman. You will wed the woman on the funeral bed.
Is it by law?
It's not by law, but then customarily they will force you to do it. At times it turns into violence.
Can you refuse?
Some refuse and it turns into violence. They will attack your family. Because for all you know, that time we have given birth like 1 or 2. So you attended the funeral. You want to go and see to it that your children's mother is kept very well. They will attack your family.
But it's not by law.
No law prescribes that. The law, one that we know and it's the law books in our case precedents, is I think Class Peters or something. Yeah, whereby he sued and succeeded in promise
and fail.
Yeah.
But promise and fail, dear.
Yeah, when you can prove that indeed that promise made you to do certain things that you believe that you have lost, and everybody, the reasonable man in the trotro will say that if this man did not promise this woman, like maybe this woman would have been better off.
Now, promise, dear, how do you prove it? Evidence?
Oh, yes, some of them can prove with evidence. Like, as we are sitting down here, you see a woman, the woman is well employed or is doing some good business. You say, oh, but see, I transfer me, I will marry you. Let's go and live there. And the woman goes there and cannot do that business again. and now supports you, cook for you, do everything with you like a husband and wife. And now finally, Waka Jenny said, "Nintrim, and yet to papa, it should go away, You can prove that I lost that my business
Because of you.
because of you, and I moved from Accra to Kumasi to live with you, took care of you.
I know the court would
If you
look at
prove it, they will look at it.
Mm.
Unlike the recent one that happened. I don't want to.
I know. Divorce cases are so much on the rise these days.
Yes.
I mean, a lot of people are going through a lot of divorce issues, and it discourages a lot of young people. Some are even turning out very violently, What about, finally, a relationship we are married. You and your wife are married, and there's a lot of promiscuity in the marriage and all of that. And you go and catch them red-handed on one occasion. Who can you sue the man for?
Oh, okay.
Can you sue the man, or it's just because of it's your wife? So can you sue the man?
Yeah, I've seen where you're coming from. Yes. For divorce or petition for divorce, which is laced with adultery, the main grounds is adultery. Most of the time, you go ahead to sue the adulterer.
Okay.
In addition, if the woman knows that my husband is going out with a side chick, now they call it a side chick, not adulterer. They want to polish it. It's adulterer. You mention the adulteress name, maybe Sister Adjoa something, or Abna something. Then you sue the person as well. Same too. If you are a man and you think a certain man has done something wrong to your wife, and you can't, not necessarily catching them, because for adultery, at times so difficult to prove adultery, because how many people will see a man and a woman having sex? So difficult, unless on the screen.
But how do you prove? Why do you sue the adulterer? Why do you sue the person? For example, if the man is having a side chick, and the side chick perhaps didn't even know that the man was married.
Because most men will lie.
Yes. So why
but some of the side chicks, that's why we say we should prove. At times, you know the man is married.
But sometimes if the man
you see the man on TV, Mr. and Mrs. So and so, and all those ones, you say that one you don't.
So what if the side chick really doesn't know that the man is married? What happens in the case like that?
That the man is married.
He doesn't know the man is married.
Oh, that one.
And the man has told her that he's not married.
For that one, then you should know that criminality is personal. So you can't hold her.
So that one is just the man that the woman has to deal with.
Yes. Because if I am not aware and I have no reason to believe that the man is married, then he's a free man. That's why I also wanted him as a husband. Yes.
Can families sue men or women who, out of a bad relationship, perhaps sent their sons or daughters into mental states, mental disorders?
You can.
You can. It's one of the subjects that we'll look at the next time that lawyer is here on the show. There are a lot of women at the mental homes now, according to statistics, and most of those relationships that broke down or most of the mental patients, women who are in the mental homes, actually was as a result of relationship issues that sent them there. On our next edition, when lawyer joins us, we will definitely be looking at those issues and whether families of such people can sue the other family whose son or daughter probably caused that mental problem. Right, thank you so much for coming on the show. But we are hoping to have you here again. There are a lot of legal things and relationships that we want to clarify. So we'll have because you have a lot of experience, we would definitely get you here again. I'm talking about experience, not as in practical experience for relationships. But thank you so much.
Thank you.
For those of you who haven't watched us before, keep on watching us right here on our YouTube channel, Fifi Banson TV. On YouTube, you get the chance, and then just subscribe, press the red button, subscribe, and press the notification button as well, and that will give you all the videos we put here. This is Education 101, right here in relationships. Thank you for watching.